With that said, we got a great call lineup today. As you know, this young man kicked us off the first day of the new year last Monday. He came at us and he's back with us today, every Monday in the month of January. And I'm excited about his call today. I didn't get his subject matter, but trust me, I know it's going to be a fantastic one. So without further ado, who put together an organization called Crew out in South Carolina, been involved with network marketing as long as I have. He hit the top of the other company we're in together as a senior vice president. He joined, called me up. I was going on stage. I said, I'll call you back. Called him back when I came off stage in front of 25,000 people, got started, and called them up, got started. So now I'm taking your number to get started. This gentleman and his wife are just amazing couple. They are regional directors on the way to regional vice president by March. Also got some regional directors in his organization already that are cranking, and he's out in South Carolina. He put together the word Crew, C-R-E-W, his organization is called. Without further ado, and I will see him in Cal. Don't forget, we'll be in Southern Cal, down in Dallas, Texas, the end of the month. We got 19 days for that convention come up in Dallas, which I will be attending. Without further ado, from South Carolina, regional director on his way to regional vice president, Mr. Curtis Evans.
Hello,
yes, sir.
Hey, can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Al. Yeah, it took a little while to find Al's number because we were out of contact since our old company exploded. And in the meanwhile, I had tried 2 other network marketing companies. So I really understand the power of network marketing. And hopefully after today, you will understand it as well. Because sometimes you're sitting on something you don't really know what you're sitting on, okay? And so I understand the power of network marketing. A guy that didn't know anything about network marketing at all, the most amount of money I've ever made in my life inside of a 360-day period was in this thing I didn't know anything about. And so sometimes when you call people, if they act a little bit crazy up front, don't take it too serious because they just, they don't understand, or it could be just a timing thing. But what we're going to do is talk about what kind of work we need to put in over the next month. And because what it all boils down to is work. And I was really impressed with all the calls last week. I couldn't get on one of them, but I was really impressed with all of them, especially the one that talked about the family and the reasons we don't call them. I can't remember Miss Kieran. I can't pronounce her name, but she did an excellent job of talking why we don't call our family, because they know about faults and they know us, and we maybe don't think of as much of ourselves as we should. And so, but when it boils down to it, we have to, hold on 1 minute, this puppy of mine, hold it. You got it. All righty, I'm sorry, puppy stories. Okay, so what we're going to try to do is to understand the dynamics of this thing that we're in. And it's a big thing. A security guard came to me and asked me to take a look at a new way of making money. And he said, you can make some real money. And as I said, I was in personnel management. I knew what everybody made to the penny inside of that facility. We had about 3,000 people there. And all these people were good people. I'm not knocking anybody. Every job is important. But I knew what the security guard made, and I knew what I made, okay? So when he came to me and told me, I'm gonna show you how to make some real money, it was a little bit comical in a sense, okay, if you had what I had in front of me. So, but fortunately, I paid him. I didn't brush him off. I said, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. He was, I thought a little older than I was, so I gave him that, and he kept getting me to go to this meeting. And one day I was leaving work, and I promised him that day I was going to go that night. And I left to go home, and I was really tired and just dragging to the car. And he was sitting by the car. He was leaning by my car. I said, what the work? He said, you can follow me. I said, oh my goodness, I'm not going to no meeting. He said, you can follow me. And so I followed him to the meeting. When I got there, I looked at the information, and it didn't make any sense. The reason it didn't make any sense because, and I wanted you all to think about this. If you're used to making X amount of dollars an hour or X amount of dollars a year, and somebody talks about something different than that, it sounds too good to be true, okay? It sounds too good to be true. And it was just too good to be true. So I want to warn you a bit. On one side of this coin, if you show somebody something that you're talking about a lot of money, it could scare them and they'll think you're crazy. On the other side, if you don't show them enough money, they don't have time to mess with nothing like that. So it's a balancing act. And so the company asks us to temper that down and talk about one thing: are you interested in making money? So the question that we have to learn what to do is how to ask that question. Now, it's going to sound so simple. This training is going to be so simple that it could go over your head. But that security guard said, Curtis, let me show you how to make some real money. He didn't say how much, some real money. But whatever the question is, I want you to go back to your back office, and the company has a script back there for you to use. If you use that script, you will be just fine. So we don't have to make up anything. It's there in the launch sheet. Okay, so if we start using the materials that ACN has, and that's what we just had to tap down a little bit and start using the materials that ACN have and the videos that they have, you won't get any trouble with anybody at corporate because you're using what they ask you to use. Okay, so that is the work. The work is inviting people, promoting people to events. Now you got to promote all the way through your ACN career. You're going to promote. They do not pay you a lot of money they don't pay you a lot of money to do nothing. You have to be promoting something. And what we're promoting is an opportunity. In this land of the US of America, people do all kind of crazy things in cattle cars, they're in back of trucks, they're on ships, some people climbing the bottom of airplanes, almost freeze to death. Some of them freeze to death in airplanes flying at 30,000 miles to get to the United States of America. The only problem that we have as Americans is that we're here. And we can look outside. Al has his lights on now. I have my lights on now. The internet is not, everything's working. So we don't really see the opportunity that other people in the world have. Now, keep in mind, in the United States, we're only 4% of the world's population. We talk about being a powerful country. We're powerful because we do two things really, really well. One of them is we have a powerful military. One, we have a really powerful military. Number two, we produce food. This country makes food. If you go across from one side of this planet to the country to the other side, you'll see nothing but fields down there. There won't be cities. You may live in a city, but there are nothing but a bunch of fields, and we are creating food. And so we're known for a lot of things in this country, but we're here, and many of us never missed a meal. Some people in other countries haven't eaten, maybe they eat once a day, or maybe they eat a big meal, or maybe they make two small meals, or maybe they got to go out and find their food. But they are coming here for opportunity. And what we have is opportunity. So when we're going out there to promote the business, do we go out there and promote long distance or communication products and services, or free phone service, or free internet service, or free this, or free that? No, what we're promoting is an opportunity, okay? An opportunity. Now keep that in mind. So when you call someone, you're promoting an opportunity. So the best way to start that question is, and you got to ask yourself, why would you spend much time at this? Why would you spend now he spent a lot of time with me because it was about 4 or 5 times he took to get me to a meeting. But ask the question, are you open to making any money around your busy schedule? Now that's a question, that's not a statement. And the person, just stop and look at the person and see what kind of response you have. Now you got some options after that, but if you get a negative response, there are folks that say that believe them. If someone tells you who they are, believe them. Okay. Now in some cases, it's a person's timing. I'll give you an example. Let's say I was trying to show Jabri this information. I was going to try to get this information across to Jabri Clemens. And Jabri that day had gotten a big raise. They gave him a company car, and he got he got all this stuff. He got a gold credit card, and he can travel and all this. And I asked Jabri, are you open to making any money around your busy schedule? There's a good chance Jabri's going to tell me what? No, I'm good. Okay. So that doesn't mean anything. So we just write his name down and we call him in 6 months. And what I was told when I was in Excel, and this is so true, ask him, that's fine. Okay. Do you want me to call you back in 3 months, 6 months, or a year? And he will more than likely. I have never had anybody tell me, don't call me back. I have never had anybody say, don't call me back. They understand how temporary things are. And so just ask them that. Are you open to making any money around your busy schedule? And then if they say no, don't take it the wrong way, because this guy asked me 4 or 5 times the same question. And finally, I went to a meeting, begrudgingly, I went to a meeting. So I really want you to understand when they say go to work, this is what Al is talking about when he says go to work. He's saying, ask a question. So sometimes we get confused when somebody says go to work, we don't know what they're talking about. I mean, in this business, what are you talking about? Now, if I was a cook, that means cook some more food. If I was cutting trees down, cut some more trees down. If I was flying airplanes, fly some more airplanes. If I was driving a car, drive some more cars. If I was a welder, you need to weld some more. But in network marketing, in ACN, what is it when they say work? If you said that this year I'm going to work really, really hard in ACN, what do we mean when we say work? I think so many people get confused. What does it mean? It means that we're going to ask one question a lot. And before you get to where Al is, or where you get to Jabri is, or when you get to where Lurleen Jones is, congratulations, Lurleen Jones. She just became a RC the other day. She's a regional coordinator. She's really happy. Okay, she had an ETL meeting the other day, and Mr. Cooper's talked about that position on Saturday's ETL meeting. And I think we have 4 other people that became RCs that day. So, so they'll talk about that, more of that in the future. But the question is, the thing is, what does it mean when you say go to work? And I think in many cases, we talk about going to work and it's just not clear to us. What do they want us to do? What is it, Catherine Williams, that they want us to do? What is it, Mary Perez, that they want us to do? What do they want us to do, Mr. Chris and Rose? What do they want? They want us to ask a lot of people, what? Are you open to making any money around your busy schedule? Because the first thing they're gonna say, I'm too busy. I don't care if they got nothing to do, they're gonna say I'm too busy. You know, you never understand. My puppy has some kittens and I've never seen nothing like this before. They're gonna come up with something. So, I mean, you're gonna hear some stories. I remember once Al told me we got 2 or 3 people started and somebody died the next day and somebody died the next week. And Al said, well, ACN's killed a lot of people. And what he meant by that, he didn't say ACN's killed a lot of people. But it's amazing when somebody gets into business and gets started, people start dying around them. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. What happens is they're going to pass away anyway. But that's an excuse not to do anything. That's their excuse to shut it down for a month. You know, the boss at the work is going to give you how many days off? 3 days off. You get 1 day off, second 2 days off, 3 days off. You need to be back to work from that funeral, okay? And now they're going to get somebody else to do the job. But they take off 3 weeks, a month. You know, last month, my second cousin on my third side, you know, he passed away. You know, I was kind of tied up with that. He was a close cousin of mine. So, you know, you're going to hear all that. And so what I want you to understand is you got to go to people and you got to ask them this question. Now, we're going to talk about this thing called work. This thing called work is what? Are you open to making any money around your busy schedule? And then wait for an answer. Don't go to the presentation, all that. And then the second thing, I mean, if there's an affirmative there, I would prefer you to show them something before you got me on the phone with them. I would prefer you to show them something. And that's why I like the 1 minute video. If there's a way for you to show them the 1 minute video, that would help. But what you're really trying to do is invite them to a meeting. The only reason I like the 1 minute video is we live in a different world now. Once upon a time, people had 5 minutes. Once upon a time, they had 10 minutes. I don't know what happened. I'm old. I don't know what happened, but now nobody has 1 minute no more. I mean, not 1 minute. I don't know. I don't know if it's TikTok. I am not sure what it is, but people don't have much time no more. We know they do because everybody gets 24 hours. So I would personally prefer they saw something before you got them on the phone with me. But your job is to introduce that concept to them. And the guy a girl you work with may want you just simply to ask the question. If they say yes, say, I got someone. You got to sell the speaker. I want you to immediately sell the speaker. The speaker is Al Thomas. I got a guy that I'm working with that's expanding business in this area. And I really want you to just sit down and listen to a presentation. Now, if you say meeting, that's going to knock them off because we do Zoom now. But I need you to get them in front of somebody else, okay? Now, the problem with Al is he has a problem the rest of us have. He needs to know something about the person so he can tape her. He can accommodate what they do with what he's about to talk about. So, you know, if you can get Al a little heads up, he's a welder, he's 35 years old with a family. You can, you know, give him some information instead of saying, I got Joe on the phone And then, I mean, Al, he doesn't know where to go. I say, now, the reason I say that's the problem with Al is because Al can't read your mind. I don't know why he can't. I don't understand why he can't read your mind right now, but he doesn't know who he's talking to. If you call me and put me on the phone with someone, I don't know who I'm talking to. A 65-year-old man, a 23-year-old girl, a 18-year-old. If there's so many people, so we got to kind of tailor what we say to what they do. And all we're going to do is try to get them to an event. That's all we're going to try to do. It'd be nice if they had it before. So does everybody here know what work is? Now, work isn't doing that one time a day. Work isn't doing that twice a day. So, well, how many times do you want to do that? Now, so a lot of leaders on this call have said they put 10 pennies in their pocket and they simply do that 10 times a day. They don't go to sleep at night until they've done it 10 times a day. Yours might be 5, I don't know. But whatever you sell it on, that is your work, okay? That is your work. So I just want you to make sure that you try to sell the speaker, okay? Don't sell ACN, because if you sell ACN, what you just do, you just did a presentation for somebody, you just did a presentation, and they now know I don't have to go to the movie because you showed the previews and you showed me how that thing gonna end. And it's all over. So simply, and that's the hardest thing not to do. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and make it sound easy, but it's hard not to do this. Residual income, free phones, this, that, the other thing. So sell the speaker. I got a girl that's really good at this and she's doing really, really well. I want you to spend a couple of seconds with. You got a second here? And they say yes. Okay. Or if they say tonight, you make an appointment to get back with them at a certain time. Just whenever they can. They may be working now. They may be in the middle of something. Yep. So get their name and number. And that's hard now because times are a little different. People are kind of crazy about their phone numbers. Now let's talk about phone numbers for a minute. The reason someone may not want to give you their phone number is Cash App. I can name some money. Money's attached to your phone number now. Your banking account, your verification on a lot of things is just tied to your phone. So, I mean, if they won't give you a number, you need to work on how to get that phone number. That's your work. How to get that phone number so I can call you back. Okay. Okay, you may even IG them or whatever. But here, what's the work that we have to do? The work we have to do is simply this. Simply this. Are you open to making any money around your busy schedule? And they say, how much is it? A lot of money. Are you open to making $700 to $1,000 this month? Are you open to making $500 to $1,000 this month in the next week? However you want to phrase it. Today's promotion is just that. They're capable of making $700 before next week. If they say, yeah, then get their information, write their name and number down and say, hey, I got a guy I'd like you to talk to. I got a girl I'd like you to talk to. She's really, and that'll give the business some credibility. Dean Torelli said it really, really well. If you can just open them up and get me on the phone with them, if you can open it up and get me on the phone with them, there's somebody in your group, an ETL in your group that wants you to do well. And an ETL in your group wants you to catch them, wants you to get the ETL. There is a RC in your group that wants you to get to RC. There's somebody in your upline that's RD, or RVP, or SVP that wants you to catch them. This is really unlike work. Work, people are holding you down, don't do this, can't do that. So I really, really want you to find that person that you want to work with and get them on the phone so they can help give you some credibility, because the person you talk to may not know you, use some credibility and get you going. Now, I want to talk about one thing here, and that's this new promotion without going into a lot of detail. I can't go into a lot of detail because they haven't given us a lot of detail, but I know enough to be dangerous. Let me put it that way. So let me tell you what this does. Years ago, now remember where you are now, just 2022, and they're going to release something that's going to help you. And 2023 would get here, and unless you understand what they did, and you could easily work all year long and not understand what they did. Years ago, when we came from England, though, when people came from England to the United States, it took 144 days, 4.5 months on a ship to get here. A long time. Now it takes about 5 or 6 hours. You hear people fussing about the 5 or 6 hours, but it used to be 4.5 months to get here on a ship from England, London to New York. Okay, that's a long, long time. And then you know what happened after that. We did all kinds of things. Now you can do it on a plane and all this. Years ago, it took from St. Louis to San Francisco. It took 25 days. That's a stagecoach, and it was moving, it was cooking. This is in the 1800s. You jump off one stagecoach on another fresh set of horses will take you so far. Okay, what this new position did for you, is there is no gap between what? ETL and RD. the gap is gone. And when I say gap, this time, the time it took for you to get from, it might take you 2 years to get to RD, it just went to a year. If it took you a year to get to RD, it just went to 6 months. And what happened is they did something really, really unique. Alan and I were talking about it when he was here just 4 years ago. What could they do in the middle? And now listen to this carefully. You need 3 legs with 200 points in each leg. Before the last few days, there was no way, there was no incentive for anybody to get 200 points. There was no incentive to get 200 points. Am I right, Al? Was there an incentive? There's no incentive. You could get there, but a person saw they made their first promotion, they had 7 points. The second promotion, they had 30 points. Okay, they said, what's the next promotion I need to work for? And you said 600. Now they worked hard last week and this week to get 30. And now you're telling me what? 600. And so it kind of messed your mind up. It's just a big old gap. I want you to understand that the next promotion level is what? 200, okay? And you can explain to them how they can do it, with, especially with 8 points on some of these services. I need you to understand 200 points. If you gave me an incentive to get to 200 points and you told me that my pay is going to go up 3 times, it's going to go from $50 to $150. If I simply get 200 points. Now, I would go out there and get some personal points, they count. I would go out there and do what I had to do to get to my 200. And then I'm rewarded with a promotion, okay? I'm rewarded with promotion. You get 3 or 4 or 5 people on that train and you will be in RD way faster. So instead of taking 144 days or 4.5 months to get to RD, you got there quicker, a lot quicker. Then people will be fussing about it, after time, because this is what people do. If you got on an airplane where you are now and you flew to New York and it took you 3 hours to get there or 4 hours, people fussing, oh my God, I've been on this plane 4 or 5 hours. And it used to take 25 days on a stagecoach between St. Louis, and that's not even from one side of the country to the other side. 25 days, all day, every day in a stagecoach, 25 days. But even now with 3 hours, people say, it took 3 whole hours to get here. I had to lay over in Atlanta for an hour and a half. Oh my goodness. I don't know. We had a big old thing a couple of weeks ago about travel in the United States, and everybody was just screaming because they had a whole 12 hours of layovers, and it is bad, but it's all relative. So our work is to get to RD, but now our work is what? Now we're RC, regional coordinator. Get to RC. Now I'm not speaking out of school because it was on the ETL meeting the other day, and Tony Coopers did it for us. So it is super, super, super important to get to RC. How many points did it take to get there? 200. All right. And you're paid what? Triples. This is good stuff. I want you to make sure you get that, because a lot of you are close. And whatever you need to do to get that, get it. Timing wise, I'm not going to talk about when they're going to do what they're going to do, because that's not my place. But we need to understand where we are when the ship left London. Okay, where we were when I think Jordan Aller is going to fly around the world. He's going to go up in the south somewhere in a spaceship and go up and come back in whatever time period. So things are changing and we have to change with it. Now, let's talk about a couple of things before I conclude. And the biggest one is what? I want you to understand what work is. If you get nothing else from this today, is what does it mean when everybody says, get to work, go to work? What does that mean? In our business, that's simply peaking people. Peaking people. Do you need to know the presentation? It'll be great for you to do it. But if you're really good at peaking, if Sam is really good at peaking, Sam will make a lot of money, especially if he signs up some other people that are really good at peaking, and they can sign up some more people that are really good at peaking. And somebody like myself who didn't know anything about network marketing can go from nobody actually nobody in network marketing to a SVP. I mean, I'm not an SVP now, but in the old company I was. So what I'm saying is, the system, if you follow the system will get you there. It's just a matter of what? Time. And they just shrunk the time. Now, if you can create RCs that's getting 200 points, if your whole job is create RC, because your whole job can't be to create RDs. I mean, ETLs. If you created 20 ETLs, go to RD and in the wrong place, some over here and some over there, it's difficult. But if you can create 3 RCs in the right places, you are what? You're an RD. How many points you need? 15. 15 points. So they say, in case you can't get customers, can you get 2 in your own house? Make it 16 points. You can do that. Okay, we can work with you. Let's go. Can you get 2 points? Can you get 2 services? 16 points. And can you recruit by peaking people? Now, you want to have more than that because it's going to count toward your promotion. So I hope this makes sense to everybody. I want everybody to understand what work is. Work, I hate to say it, is not being on a conference call unless you got some more people on it. I want you on a conference call because part of this right here is self-development. There's a lot of self-development in this. In fact, ACN is a self-development program with a compensation plan attached. So when you get to these higher levels in the company, you're going to be nothing like you are now. You won't know you. You're going to like the new you. One of the biggest things that you're going to find out is you just don't care what people think no more. Because in order to get through a lot of people, you got to stop caring. You got to leave some people behind. There's some, or your brother, your cousin, your uncle, they're still your brother, they're still your cousin, they're still your uncle. You got to leave them behind, okay? There are people, friends, good friends of yours, that they're still friends, but on the business, you got to leave them behind. Now, and I'll tell you this, there's a guy I know, and I'll introduce him to me. His name is Greg Provenzano. Nice guy. Y'all might have heard of him before. He has a lot to do with our company. Have you ever heard of any other Provenzanos? You have a big old string of Provenzanos in a big old leg in our company, like there's 30 Provenzanos in our company. Do y'all heard about that? No. Let me see. What about Koopas? Do y'all heard about any Koopases? A big old downline with 25 and 30 Koopases all running hard and just kicking it. We know about a couple of twins. Do y'all know of just a ton of Koopases in a particular leg that's just eating it up, just tearing it down? Now I figured it like this. If Mr. Koopas can't pull it off, and Mr. Provenzano can't pull it off, what you trying to do? What you trying to do? Call and get the question asked. And this is what I was trained to do. And this is, I'm gonna say this in conclusion. Write this down. Write this down. This is your conscience. I want you to get these people off your conscience, okay? The reason you're calling your family is you want to get them off your conscience, okay? In other words, when Jabri talks to his cousin, and Jabri's an RVP, platinum, he's making tons of money every month, residual, and he's all the way up in the comp plan, he's got all the money in the world. And his cousin comes to him, he wants to say, I called you. Jabri, I didn't know, you got a Corvette, you got another house. Jabri wants to say, I called you. Here, look at your text, look at your phone, I called you. That's what you want. You're gonna have to leave some of these people behind, but make the call. Are you open to making any money? Curtis, you always doing something, you're always into something. Hey, listen, Joe, I just need to ask a question. Are you open to making any money around your busy schedule? No, man, I'm good. Thank you. I'll give you a call back in 6 months or a year. No, call me back in 6 months. Okay, check. Move on. These should be 1-minute calls. These should be 1-minute calls. The secret to getting where Al is not talking to a few people a lot. It's talking to a lot of people a little bit. That's the secret. So let's make it a 1-minute call. And you got to have this certain, that's what the self-development is. You got to have this muscle inside of you that says, I don't care. You got to, because if you care, they'll hurt you. They're coming back at you. So you got to say, I don't care. Whatever your answer is, great. If it's great, you like it, great. You want to come in? Yes. You want to get customers? No. Okay. Whatever, great. And keep on going. So those 10 pennies, make sure they're 1 minute apiece. And then know what to do, get them on the phone, on the line with someone else. So that is what we call work. Anything else is important. Like this call is important because it's self-development. Okay. The calls with the ETL call is important, self-development. RD calls, important, but they don't pay. They don't pay. So if you're looking for a check, say, well, I was on all 8 calls and you're looking for a check, and it's not going to work, but it's getting you to the big check. Okay. So that's why I want to pass on to everybody. So when we know what work is now, we know when Al says, let's go to work. If we understand what he means when he says go to work, He says peak 10 people today, peak 20 people today, peak 30 people. And SVPs has heard more no's than you have. That's the only difference. There's no other difference. You heard 3 no's last month. SVPs heard 300, 400. You heard 2 no's last week because you talked to 2 people. SVPs heard more. So if you want to get there, just a lot of people telling you no, you're on the right track. So that takes care of my call for today. That's a road to RD. And this road to RD, I love it because it just got shorter. They gave us a shortcut if you take advantage of it. So get your 200 points, get that promotion. Let's go. Thank you. Oh, coincidentally, 200 personal points happen to be a 20%. This thing's getting better and better and better. Even if you did it personally, you got 20% of your residual. This thing is getting better and better and better. So thank y'all very much for your time. That takes care of what I have for today. I'll see y'all next Monday. But that's it. The Al is all yours.